A while back I released a video here on the channel showing some locations that don't make sense in GTA 5. One example of these locations, for instance, is a staircase that should have an exit at the top, and the exit of this staircase is actually inside a parking lot, and it gets really glitchy when you use the no-clip mod to access the area. Very similar to what I showed in that video. There are several locations in GTA 5, mainly houses or parking lots, garages that are in places where people don't access as much, like they're not on the main roads of the game, and that's why they are poorly constructed or poorly designed in a certain way. So in today's video I'm going to show you the most nonsensical houses in GTA 5. When I say houses, I'm talking about houses, buildings, garages, and so on. And it's important to make it clear that this is not a criticism of the game. I love GTA 5. I have over 3,000 hours in this game. I really like it, but it's really cool to see these mistakes that the developers end up leaving in the final version. That being said, if you enjoy the channel, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe right at the beginning of this video to show some support. And let's get started. Let's start with this garage here, which at first glance seems to be a 100% normal garage, right? You can see a little dented gate here in the front, but it seems to be a pretty normal garage. What's the big deal here? If you simply use a mod or, I don't know, try to jump in here with a car and all that, and look at this garage from above, you will see that in fact this garage has no space at all. In other words, this here became very nonsensical. It became very messed up. I even used the no-clip mod to access inside this garage to see if it extended under the parking lot and see what's behind this garage. But when you use the no-clip mod to access here, curiously, for some reason that I don't know, but for sure it's also nonsensical. I found a tire here, an old piece of tire, and you see that the wall is really closing here. In other words, it's a garage where you can't store anything. Not to say that you couldn't store anything, I don't know, you could store a motorcycle sideways. But anyway, you guys got the idea. Next up is a house in Vinewood or in the Vinewood area in the mountain region and so on. And it's a house that has a gate fence, which is fine, but it also has a fence on top. And that was the part that I found strange, because if you look from the front, like it even has a nice little design, and looking from above, like the fence makes it seem like it's for the sun to illuminate the front of the house and such. While the person is entering the house, like they already entered, closed the gate, now they're going to enter the house and everything is illuminated there. But the part that makes no sense at all is because, man, if it's raining here, this wouldn't make any sense. It would soak the person completely when they go to enter the house. Like if it were a little smaller or a little more to the side, a little to the other side. But it's a huge thing right here in the middle, like right where the person would stand to open the door and enter the house. So it was kind of poorly built, or it could even have the gate, right? But like with glass, an acrylic on top to close it, and like let the light pass through but actually not let the rain through. If you even put it here to rain and stay inside, you will see that the water will actually fall inside, which means it would wet the NPC, protagonist, or whatever. Now, my friend, right near here, there's a really bizarre one, okay? This one here, actually, it's not the house. It's more like the wall of the house itself at the end of this street here. At the end of the street, we can see a normal wall. So far, so good, right? Visually, like looking from the street, it's all good. However, if you really follow where this wall is going, you see that this wall simply disappears. Like you have to do this with mods, right? Or jump on top of the wall. You see that this wall, it's going in there sort of inside the other property, passing through the ground and all, and it's a thing like super poorly done, guys. I don't know what happened here. If the developers were lazy, the guys needed to deliver the game and said it was ready. But man, there's a wall going in here inside the other, like passing through the bush, going into the middle of the ground, and it's just a little piece of wall here, while on the street it's normal. Now, I'm going to show you guys inside the characters' houses. I've already brought some videos showing nonsensical things. Among these nonsensical things, I've already brought things inside the characters' houses. I think later I'm going to make a video just showing the characters' houses and the nonsensical things inside them. Like in Franklin's house, Michael's, Trevor's, and so on. But just so we don't lose track here, there is a secret door in Michael's living room. Actually, not in the living room, in the house, right, of Michael. And actually, it's not really one, it's two actually. Kind of glitchy, which are as follows. In Michael's house, if you go into his bedroom, there's a closet in his bedroom, and inside the closet there's a door. That door in theory should lead to the balcony outside the house. However, if you go outside the house and look on the balcony where the door should be, you won't find anything, and that's the first screw up. The second screw up is even worse than this. If you go into Jimmy's room, you'll see there's a door next to his TV, kind of to the right, and that door, if you look at the house map, it doesn't lead anywhere. A lot of people believe that door is the same door that like is inside Michael's closet, but it's not the same door. If you look here from above, you'll see that the alignment of the two doors doesn't match, and there's kind of a space between them, but between one and the other, in the drawing here on the floor plan and all, there's no room. So this part is really messed up. Man, I think we might have to do a video just about this. Also, there's one inside Michael's house here, which is actually the thumbnail of another video of mine. It's the skylight. Right here by the stairs, there's a skylight here. It's to light up and make Michael's house look really nice, but if you use the no-clip mod and go up on the roof of Michael's house, you'll see that skylight doesn't exist, man. So, like, it's nicely designed on the inside of the house. There's a reflection, everything, but looking from the other side, you don't see it. There's just a roof there. Anyway, don't ask me why these screw-ups happen. This one, to me, seems more like a mistake rather than a lazy developer. That one on the wall I showed, for sure that was a lazy developer. Now we're going to a house here. I'm not exactly sure if it's a house with a mistake, if it's laziness, or if it's just a really senseless house, right? Because to me, it's kind of crazy here that it's a house full of bushes. Basically, when you arrive at this house, you have some gates here. And then when you look at the side of the house, you see that like there are some controlled bushes inside this part here where maybe there would be a gate or a wall, which is kind of strange, but not that strange. Let's say, I don't know, it's the house decoration for the street to not dirty the house, I don't know. However, if you go to the other side of this house, right, you will see that these bushes, man, are even in front of the pool, man, which makes no sense at all. Bushes, no, I think this here would be like a climbing plant, something like that. Anyway, and dude, it looks really weird. Like I said to you guys, these screw-ups really happen in places that, like, we won't access much. But there it is, man, really strange. Or if anyone knows any real reason to have this bunch of plants here drawn like this around practically the entire house, comment below so we know what it's all about. Besides this house, there's another house here that, man, is a silly little detail, but like I think the guys just let it slip because they had to deliver the project quickly, you know? Like in this house, there's a garage. You guys can see, right? The garage looks nice. The house itself looks nice. I even took a look at it. Everything's okay. However, like there's the garage and the garage has a gap there for the door, right? There's kind of a gap there to fit the door frame, but there's no door. Like the house is completely accessible and man, that doesn't make any sense, right? They could have had the door and left it open, but like make the frame there nicely and not put the door. I think the guys just wanted to deliver the project and leave it like that. 15. Now guys, we're going to a part here that is kind of senseless based on what happens like spawning at the house and not the house itself that has something senseless. When we're doing the Epsilon missions, there's a part of the missions where you have to deliver 5 vehicles. You deliver the 5 vehicles at this house here that I'm showing you. What I find very strange, in front of this house, usually there's another house that spawns some cars inside. So like sometimes I would take the Epsilon cars there and then in the house in front, there were some cars. And then I would try to get those cars to already leave the area, look for the next car, and so on. What's the big problem with this house that spawns these cars? There's no way to get out. There's a gate here that, in theory, should slide to the side, right? It would be a sliding gate and all. There's space, and in theory, everything seems fine. But what doesn't make sense here is the game spawning the cars inside when the gate itself doesn't work. So you can come in here, you can steal the vehicle, but you can't get out. There are even some little wooden gates and all. You can even crash into the wooden gates, but the wooden gate only breaks the social gate. It doesn't break the whole wooden gate. So you steal the vehicle, but you can't get out with the vehicle. And the bike never spawns. If it was a bike, you could escape from here, but it's only the car that spawns. So what's the point of this? Going to another point on the map here, in a house that doesn't make much sense. This house here, to me, man, it doesn't make sense because it defies the laws of gravity. And it's going to get even worse than that, okay? Keep watching because you'll see that things are going to get crazy. So this house here, it's pretty nice, right? It has a design that's, well, I don't know, modern, let's say. It kind of reminds me a little of Martin Madrazo's house. I don't know why, but anyway. But what's the weird part about this house? Like when you go to the back of this house, right? Like you go around there and all. Usually you have to do that with mods or with a helicopter because you don't have real access. At least I didn't find it there. 18, you can see that there's a part of this house, guys, that is 100% floating. It's like 3 or 4 rooms of the house just floating. There's no pillar, no column underneath, nothing, man. The thing is just floating there. Since it's an inaccessible area, nobody will ever notice a detail like this, right? But if you stop here and look, you'll see that this makes no sense at all. Unless there's some engineering in Los Angeles that, man, allows for this type of construction. But I don't think that exists. Just like the house I just showed, man, there's another house that's just bizarre. But this time, at least, it's not a whole room, right? It's like a balcony and part of a room and so on in this part of the map. This house here, guys, it has a part in the back that's like already without any pillar. And then it has an extension kind of like a room with no pillar at all. And a huge extension of a balcony, man, like, dude, but with no support at all. You can see that the house next door like has support on the balcony. The others there, like all around, have support to hold it up and all. But this one here, man, it's just floating, my friend, defying the laws of gravity. Honestly, man, the guy who did this was just feeling lazy. 20 right around here at Vespucci Beach, there's a house, man, that I found kind of peculiar. So you get to the front of this house and it has a little gate here. The first thing that I found kind of bizarre here is that the texture of it, at least to me, seems to be an iron gate, right? Looking like this, it seems to be a bit rusty iron. But if you shoot at it, and I have the habit of shooting at everything, some wood chips come out and there's a hole in the wood, you know? But alright, maybe I just got confused with the material. But that's not the strange part, okay? Don't worry. The strange part here is that this house here, it has a front gate. You see it here, right? However, like the gate is to prevent unwanted visitors, right? The person has to ring the doorbell there and stuff. I don't know, something like that. But if you just come a little to the side, you see that, man, the thing is open, man. Wow, it makes no sense at all, man. And it gets even stranger. There's a little sign there saying not to park, but it says not to park in the house corridor and not in front of the garage. And worse than that, my friend, this house here, man, I think the guy did this. The guy wasn't very well in the head at the time. If you go up this corridor of the house and follow it, you will see that it will lead to the other side where there is not even any more bushes, with a half-meter high wall for anyone to enter. And on the other side it's open, man. So what's the point of this, my brother? On one side there is a gate that is already open on the side. At the back it's open. The wall is half a meter high with a no parking sign in the middle of the corridor. Like, well, this one, I think the developer was on drugs. And lastly, there's this house here that I found kind of bizarre because like the material texture of it. But it's not just that, okay? But here's the thing, like there's this gate here. And what I found strange here in the first place is that this house has the same material as the gate, you know? Like it's all the same material. But okay, maybe it's just a kind of exotic house and all, because like if you look from the side, you see that it's a nice house and all, but there's also a kind of strange thing that happens in this house that I don't know why that is. I think it was just some programming error, but the trash can in front of this house, it always spawns upside down. At least I tested it here on the computer version. I also tested it on the PlayStation 5 version. And then when I take a look here, really this trash can, it always spawns upside down. It doesn't make much sense, but so far I believe it's just an error. And the part that doesn't make sense, it's like everything having that gate texture, which I don't know, to me it's kind of weird. And folks, believe me when I say there are a lot more places that make absolutely no sense in GTA 5. Clicking here next to the yellow arrow, you'll see that. And man, it's so cool, but there are so many crazy places in this game. Seriously guys, you're gonna love it. That being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until the next video then, take care and peace out.